morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity of Birmingham Live. If you will, take a few moments to relax and get centered. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm going to guide you in a brief affirmative prayer in light of the wonderful. Seems like I like this camera. That's why I never became an Episcopal priest. I gotta stay with me. And we all can breathe here today, so there's no incense in the room. But as you take a moment to get centered, I am going to guide you guys in a brief moment of affirmative prayer. Steady as she goes. Well, you think I was 85 years old if you try to light this candle?
I just think you need an extra hand.
I'm trying to tell you, goodness gracious. Some of the flames are hot, big, and bright, just like our lives, and some principles actually need a little bit more work. And so this wonderful festivious time where Ramadan and Passover and Easter all align, if you will, allow this time to do its perfect work, knowing that in this space that all is well, and all of your needs are already met, and everything that you have in need of is already provided. And so all you have to do in this space, very similar to all you have to do in life, is just to show up and hold that space and to bear witness to the truth. And that truth is your Christ consciousness, your Christ nature. And if you will, I'm going to repeat a statement of truth, and then we're going to affirm the 12 powers, which will be on the screen momentarily. And so with me, take a deep breath again and listen to this statement and then repeat after me. Unspeakable joy.
Unspeakable joy.
Glory.
Glory.
And life.
And life.
Are promised.
Are promised.
To those.
To those.
Who with unwavering.
Who with unwavering.
Devotion.
Devotion.
Strive to develop.
Strive to develop.
Their inner Christ consciousness.
Their inner Christ consciousness.
Allow that affirmation of truth to settle and to rest and rule and abide and do its perfect work in your mind and in your heart. And if you will, as you are joining me in this affirmation, place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. These 2 points are considered to be the sons of thunder, the James and the John. And we know these to be the sons of thunder because they do their perfect work whenever your nervous system is chronically dysregulated. So when you're feeling that nervousness in the pit of your stomach and in your chest, that's the sons of thunder doing their perfect work. But guess what? Those 2 spots and principles and chakras and points of affirmation are actually under the guidance of the Christ awareness that is in you, with you, and as you. So when you feel a moment of chronic dysregulation, don't fret. Just know that your body is doing what it's supposed to do as you are being led and guided by the Christ Spirit within. Now, repeat after me. Faith.
Faith.
Divine confidence awakens in me now.
Divine confidence awakens in me now.
Strength.
Strength.
Divine capacity empowers me now.
Divine capacity empowers me now.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Divine mind awakens in me now.
Divine mind awakens in me now.
Love.
Love.
Divine love awakens in me now.
Divine love awakens in me now.
And as we are outing these candles, we are affirming that the light from the candle will transfer to the light within, and these powers will come online. The beautiful thing about Charles Fillmore is he said we don't have to force or coerce these powers. We simply become aware of them, and they manifest in your life. Imagination. Divine imagination awakens in me now.
Divine imagination awakens in me now.
Let's repeat that fifth principle one more time. Power.
Power.
Divine power awakens in me now.
Divine power awakens in me now.
Understanding.
Understanding.
The awareness of what minds to do awakens in me now.
The awareness of what minds to do awakens in me now.
Will.
Will.
The divine capacity to choose the course of my life
The divine capacity to choose the course of my life
awakens in me now.
awakens in me now.
Order.
Order.
My life is in divine 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 order.
One more time. My life is in divine order.
My life is in divine order.
Zeal.
Zeal.
I am enthusiastically moving forward into my good.
I am enthusiastically moving forward into my good.
Elimination.
Elimination.
I release everything that's not in alignment with my betterment.
I release everything that is not in alignment with my
Say this one more time. I release everything
I release everything
that's not in alignment
that is not in alignment
with my betterment.
with my betterment.
And finally, the principle of life. The abundant life is mine now.
The abundant life is mine now.
One more time. The abundant life is mine now.
The abundant life is mine now.
Take another deep breath and come back to the room. Collectively say with me, and so it is.
And so it is.
I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, no other has ever I'd stay in my garden with him, though the night around me be falling, but he bids me go with a voice of woe. His voice to me is kind. Yeah, he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I'm his own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, no other has ever known. And he walks with me, oh, he talks with me, he tells me I am his own. And the joy as we tarry there, no other has ever
Greetings, everyone, and happy Easter. I'm going to do a meditation today. If you would join with me. It is a call and response, and I will give you the response to repeat. Brother Rick is going to give us a beat on the drum. It's going to be some words that are from the Swahili language. So let us take a deep breath in and relax. Position yourself in a comfortable position. Lay aside anything that you may have in your hands as we seek the experience of God. Kutafuta means that we have entered the sacred circle and we seek the experience of God. And if you will repeat after me, we open ourselves to receive the power of God.
To receive the power of God.
Now breathe in and relax as you breathe out. Kutamungu means that we can come upon God here where we are. And if you will repeat, if we seek, we will find.
If we seek, we will find.
And breathe in. And breathe out. When we are open, our inner divinity can be touched by the cosmic power of the universe. And Kubasana will come like a mystical explosion. And we'll repeat, the overwhelming power of God enters into us.
The overwhelming power of God enters us.
The creative intelligence of God directs us.
The creative intelligence of God directs us.
We become one with God and with all people everywhere.
We become one with God and all people everywhere.
Breathe in. And next. When our inner divinity comes into contact with the higher power out of which it was created, we are born again in the fullness of life. And we'll repeat the sacred triangles and the mystical sacraments, and the disciplines of our transforming community open us to receive the power of God.
Open us to receive the power of God.
And if you breathe in deeply, feel that power. And breathe out. In our surrender to God, Kujitoa, we have new strength for our earthly battles. And if you will repeat, we share a sacred trust.
We share a sacred trust
With those who have gone before.
with those who have gone before
And with those who will come after.
and with those who will come after.
We are in total submission to the will of God.
We are in total submission to the will of God.
Kujitoa. Breathe in. And relax. And if you repeat these 4 words with me, Kutafuta,
Kuta kuta,
Kutamungu,
kuta mungu,
Kugasan,
kugasan,
Kujitoa.
kujito.
And we let it be.
Amen. In that same meditative spirit, I greet you in the language of our ancient Kemetic ancestors, and I say Ma'at Keru to you. Say this with me, Ma'at Keru.
Ma'at karu.
Ma'at Keru in Egyptian Kemetic language. We say Kemetic because this is the language by which they describe themselves. And so hieroglyphics was called Medu Necher. Say that with me, Medu Necher, meaning the language of nature or the language of the gods. And Ma'at Keru means true voice. Say this with me, true voice. And so the experience that you are feeling today is designed to allow you to become in tune with the inner voice, in the words of the mystic Howard Thurman, until you have tuned into the sound of the genuine within you. You will forever dance on the ends of strings that other people pull. And those strings are the strings of public opinion. Hello, somebody. Those strings are the strings of to-dos. Anybody got any to-dos today? They are the strings of distractions. This is the month of April. They are the strings of taxes. Amen. Boys got real deep on that one. But they are the strings that occupy your attention more so than the voice of the Christ within. So what is the Christ? It's the Christos. It's the anointing. And it's not Christos that you cook dinner with. Although they both have a similar meaning. They mean the grease. And if you study the ancient ancestors who passed down their traditions to the sages and the rabbinical elders, they said that the priests would grab the olives and they would grab the leaves and they would squeeze. And the oil that was created, they would take it and they would anoint he or she that would be the next leader amongst the people. And if you know anything about trials and tribulations and life experience, if you live long enough, you'll experience moments in life where there is a great squeezing. But that squeezing that occurs in life is just God within trying to match God without. The things that are being squeezed are the personality. The The things that are being squeezed are the human intellect. The things that are being squeezed are everything in your life that's not in alignment with the Christ principle within. Because God without is trying to ensure that God within is a match. So the crucifixion that occurs is simply the crossing out in your consciousness everything that is unlike God. Everything that is unlike divine intelligence. Everything that is unlike the principle by which we say is a presence but never in absence. It is both pantheistic and both panentheistic, meaning that it contains the entire universe, which means that we can look out in the trees and we can hear grandma. We can go into the home and we can see the rocking chair move by itself. We can feel a breeze in the house and the AC ain't on. Am I by myself in this house? We know somebody else is here with us on this day. Christ, our ancient ancestor, and all the many elders and teachers and wise sages that have come before us. And so getting in alignment with that principle and with that spirit of truth, something wonderful happens. The wonderful thing that happens is that you find yourself not even needing a teacher or a coach. Because in the self-same hour, when this spirit of truth comes upon you, it leads you and guides you into all truth. So you can say, I got it. I know you did it. I'm going to go this way. But something's leading me and guiding me and compelling me to come into this place in Highland Park. This place called Unity of Birmingham. There is a light in the city of Birmingham, and I'm happy to stand as a part of that sacred flame with you on today. Put your hands together for yourself, if you will. As we stand on the shoulders of our ancient mystical ancestors with the unity principles behind us, let's send some love to the folks that are watching online. Point your hands toward the camera. Say this with me. Divine love, in us, blesses and multiplies all that you have, all that you hear, and all that you receive. Know in this moment you are safe and you are loved. And so it is. Our ministry is supported by partners like you, both online and in person. To make your gift online, if you're watching, log on to unitybham.org. Look at my friend in the back and click on giving. Say, and so it is to that.
And so it is.
Amen, amen. This morning, I want to talk to you about 12 divine powers. Say this with me, 12 divine powers.
12 divine powers.
But these 12 powers, I'm going to weave in and out of sacred text this morning. Kind of take my time. Weave in and out of sacred text, and also want to weave in and out of history. But not just history, but your history and her story. Because his story isn't the only one that should be talked about. Hello, somebody. And then there's also mystery as well. And mystery sometimes is the missed story. It's the stories that we forgot. And also the things that we don't understand. So here's the wonderful thing about truth. When you talk about truth and true teachings, you find yourself in it, and it speaks to you because it is your story. So his story is good. Her story is even better. Probably more true. Missed stories are good because that's where the gossip come in. But your story, I caught that. Your story is the one that's the most important. Because until you hear the sound of the genuine within you, all of this stuff exists on the outside. Paul said, all of my works, everything that I've done, though I speak with the tongues of angels, everything is like sounding brass. If I have not love, I don't have anything. And God is love. So everything that I am is composited, composed together under the banner of love. And so when we talk about love from a pantheistic standpoint, we're talking about love being everywhere, but panentheistic, meaning that love is everywhere and contains all things and exists outside of all things, which means that you are bigger than you could ever imagine. Unity of Birmingham. Who told you to live small on this morning? That's why you're feeling the squeeze. The things that you don't understand, the things that you feel you might have missed or missed out on. Here's the wonderful thing about truth teachings. They exist in time and exist beyond time, which means that you are never late. It is never too late. You didn't miss out. It's not that I haven't physically seen you in years. You might not have been in my presence in years, but you were always a divine idea in the mind of God. So every time I thought of you, you were with me. So even if I haven't seen you in a long time, guess what? God sees you. And if all that I am is God and all that I am is good and all that I am is divine love, we have never been apart. Say ashe to that. So friends that you have not seen in a long time, they have always been with you. And I want to reassure you this morning. Loved ones that might have passed on and transitioned, guess what? Instead of being bound in time and space, they moved into the timeless realm where they are now everywhere, all at the same time. They exist as memory in divine mind. And here's the wonderful thing about true teaching. Say this with me. I go away to prepare a place for you so that where I am, you may be also. And these houses exist in consciousness. So all you have to do is say their name and there's a new house for them to dwell in. So when I introduce you to my grandparents or my great-grandparents and you've never seen them before, there's a new mansion in the sky of Naja that they're living in, a beautiful house. When I introduce my great-great-great-great-aunt to Miriam, there's a new mansion in the consciousness called Miriam that she has never been in, but now a part of her lives and dwells in. So when I open my mouth and I say the name of the Christ, or say the name of my sacred ancestors, they find a new place to dwell in and they move out into all the world. Say, and so it is to that. That is the mystery to who you are. Never born, can never die. In the words of the Gita, water cannot wet it, fire cannot burn it, because it's eternal. And that is the truth of who you are. And here's the wonderful thing about this house. Say this with me, Unity of Birmingham. Unity of Birmingham is a very mystical place that sits on a hill in Birmingham. And here's the wonderful thing about these truth teachings. We talk about 12 divine powers, but before the book, The 12 Powers of Man, was written and composed in 1931, Unity of Birmingham had its existence. In 1919, individuals got together and formed a study group. And then in 1928, they decided to incorporate a church. So a divine idea called Unity of Birmingham existed before the 12 Powers of Man was published. That is power. So you're sitting on a 100-year-old plus divine idea. This is the intentionality that you possess. And you are the very next chapter. You are the very next evolution of 12 individuals who decide to get together and bring light to the city of Birmingham in a way that Birmingham has probably never seen it before and may never see it again. Unless you say yes to the call. You say yes to embody these teachings. You say yes to taking them into your life and into your family. You say yes to allowing yourself to be the conduit. I feel my helper now. I didn't come to preach this morning. You say yes to being the conduit of divine expression, which means that they're not just words to you, but they are divine possibilities and divine realities that exist everywhere present, even as me and you. Which means that the 12 divine powers weren't just apostles in the first century. No, my friends, they weren't 12 disciples in the first century. They are typographies and they are examples of the divine possibilities that exist both in you, with you, as you, which means that the greatest apostles didn't exist in the first century. You're looking around the room now. Because you are the next evolution of the Christ thought. You are the next evolution of the Christ principle. So while others are looking at Jesus and saying his Christhood, Jesus is calling you forward and saying, where's yours? Because when you tune into the sound of your own Christhood activating within you, and here's the wonderful thing, you don't have to beg, borrow, or plead or cry for this thing to come online. This thing is in you, with you, as you, and has been guiding you your whole life. I want to tell you how I know? Because I'm looking at you right now. Which means everything that you are worrying about, because worry is meditation in the wrong direction. Everything that you are concerned about, because concerns is meditation in the wrong direction. Everything that you are crying about, because crying is joy in reverse. God has already thought about it. Which means that there's a part of you that already knows. This is why the knower built the ark and invited all the animals inside of it. And there's a knower deep, deep, deep inside of you that rumbles and tumbles. Place your hands on your stomach. Y'all feel that rumbling and tumbling? It ain't just gas. Place one hand on your heart. They call it the sons of thunder. The knower inside of you contains all of the animals, all of the feelings, all of the doubts, all of the worries, all of the insecurities. And guess what? It's still able to float on the sea of emotions. And at its appointed time, it will open the doors and release 2 doves that will go out and bring you back what you need. Meaning you don't have to get rid of the doubt. You don't have to get rid of the worry. You don't have to get rid of the concern. Take it with you. And guess what? It all dissolves in the light of truth, which means all that I am is God. My worry, my doubt, my shaky hands can't light a candle. It all is taken to God out there and within, because there is nothing out there that is not inside. And that is the mystery of this morning. The Easter Ishtar experience, depending on your culture and language and your place in history, by whichever way you have come to arrive today, regardless of your culture, today is about the Christ awareness arising within you. So what is that Christed awareness? It's the highest and best part of you. And here's the thing, when you try to find it, you can't. So you say it's all my best. When I say it's my shoes, then tomorrow I find better shoes. When I say it's my glasses, tomorrow I find better glasses that I like. When I say it's my mama, then she gets on my nerves. Hey, Mom. When I say it's my dad, I can't find him. Sorry, dads. So I say it's all the Christ awareness. Because when you put a separation between you and the anointing that is beckoning you and calling you to live a better truth, to live a higher reality, to live your best life, when you put that separation there, God or life or divine intelligence kicks it out of the way. So that becomes the squeezing. Say this with me, the squeeze.
The squeeze.
Everything that is a barrier in your life, bring it to your mind in this sacred space. Take a meditative moment in the middle of me talking and think of every separation and everything that has held you back. Paul called it the sins that so easily beset us. The sins is an archery term. It means to miss the mark. So every mistake in the eyes of man is actually an on-time accident in the mind of God. Oh, if I could quote that wonderful Ralph Emerson quote, to hold eternity in your hand, or to see, behold in a grain of sand, eternity in an hour, to put heaven in your hand and see it in a flower, or something like that. Y'all get the point. But the point, I'll go back and read that later. The point is that it's all within you and it's all orchestrating and working together for your good. You just have to see it there. So everything that you feel has gotten in the way between you and your good and you and your betterment. And when I'm talking about good, I'm talking about God, the good, omnipotent. Because for too long, we have seen God as an evil taskmaster, sitting on high and looking low, telling you to forgive your enemies, but it gets to burn its in a lake of fire and brimstone. Came here to tell you that the lake of fire and brimstone is just the vicissitudes of life. And they all get dissolved because our God is a consuming fire. So everything starts and ends with and in God. The people that get on your nerves, behold the God in them. The people that you like, behold the God in them. And that's where the work is right there. It's like, oh, I love them too much. I want them for myself. Or I don't like them. I want bad stuff to happen to them. When you give them all to God, then you step into your Christ awareness, which is your natural state. So I go back to the early 1900s. Can you imagine the vision that it took for individuals to step into the rural South and bring these metaphysical, psychological, spiritually infused interpretations of biblical teachings into the heart of the rural South in what we call the Bible Belt? That takes vision and it takes guts. And here's the wonderful thing about apostolic ministry, meaning to call out. There are places and spaces that life is calling you out to. And only you know that. It happens in the middle of the night. You get that ID. We call it the flying spaghetti monster, where you just start spitting things up and throwing things against the wall. Something within is calling you. And so I advise you today to tune in to that call. Allow these powers to come alive within you. And see them not as just abstract things that exist over there in the life of somebody else who you think is doing good. Because until you can begin to see yourself enthroned, Isaiah said, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord high and lifted up. King Isaiah, that Isaiah was talking about wasn't just some external figure. This was a moment in consciousness. This was something within himself, because as he saw powers and principalities changing, he saw a spot that was opening up for him. Can I talk to you that are running away from promotion? Life is trying to promote some of you right now, and it would not be so, or I would not have the idea to say it to you today. Life is trying to promote some of you. Life is calling you deeper and calling you higher. So I ask you again, what are you scared of? What are you waiting on? Who is holding you back? I invite you to utilize your power of elimination and release everything in your life that is not like God. Everything in your life that is not contributing to your benefit. Anything in your life that is not making you happy, making you smile, making you joyful on today. If you're watching online, you as well. If they're not making you happy, if they're not making you smile, say and so it is to them. Yes, say and so it is one more time. One more time and so it is. Because guess what? This is your life. And you get to live it consciously in this body one time. If you come back again, that's your own business. But you get to live it consciously in this body. And so while you have the awareness of the 12 powers that are within, knowing that you don't have to beg for them to come online, all you have to simply do is become aware of them. And if you can't name them 1 through 12, that's okay. Just say all that I am. All that I am is God. And say this, let this mind be in me, which is also in the Christ. Meaning you allow the Christ awareness, the super consciousness to move through your conscious mind, trigger your subconscious, and come bursting forward like a flower through the personality of yourself until folks look at you, they can't tell where human self ends and God begins. All they know is there's just something about her. She's so radiant. There's something about him. He's so beautiful. That is the power by which life is calling you to live. It's not about ego. It's not about guilt tripping. And it's not about playing small to make others feel good. If you like flashy stuff, then flash. If you like shiny stuff, then put it on. If you like to be happy and your personality fills the room, then you smile and fill the room and you move out of spaces where you're tolerated and go into spaces where you are celebrated. This is the Christ awareness. It's your highest and your best self. I tend to think of the Christ awareness as my mother and my grandmother calling me forward. As soon as I'm relaxed, it's like, oh my God, I see you here, because it's so visionary. It's always seeing and calling you forward, saying you can do better and you can do more. Who's feeling that call on today? And that call is beyond ambition. It's beyond secular achievement. Because that call is calling you forward into and upwards through the self. In the words of Charles Fillmore, all it takes is a change of consciousness. Say this with me. If I think it up, I can think it down. Say this wonderful unity one with me. Thoughts become things. Here's another one. I am the thinker that thinks the thought that becomes the thing. So it starts here in headquarters. This is Unity Village. And you are the chief executive officer of the village of your life. And here's the thing about Jesus. Jesus said this, let thy will be done on heaven as it is in earth. The earth is the land, right? The land is the body. And where is legislation happening right now in our American government? Trying to legislate the body. And so when you take possession of the mind, you take possession of the body. And then you get in alignment with something called divine order. And when divine order is set forward in your life, can't nothing get in your way. Everything moves. Because here's the thing. If it's all God and it only responds to God, say this affirmation with me. My sheep, hear my voice. And a stranger, they won't follow. So as you utilize these 12 principles to empower yourself, you speak back to your life. Well, Brother Herriott, nothing in my life has changed. I've talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Well, who is the I that's doing the talking? If it's all God, my sheep hear my voice, so it only responds to God. So when God within stands up, when the goddess within stands up, when the divine mother, the divine father, or the presence that exists beyond pronouns that we assign pronouns to, when it stands up and it speaks, it stills the waves. The fish and the sea move to the other side. Everything in your life stops and pauses. And you experience that in a divine moment. Join me in a brief meditation. Close your eyes for a second. And think about a time in your life where everything was perfect. Think about a moment in time. Somebody said when I was asleep. Think about a moment in time where you were rested and you were well. This is your truest self. Come back to the room. And yours to do is to take that moment and sprinkle it throughout your life. To hold on to the truth of that. This is why we call these principles divine principles. And we also call this truth teachings. Because these things exist beyond the facts of the external world. In the words of Eric Butterworth, go within. Say this with me, go within. So that I won't have to go without. And when you find things drying up in the external world, you go back inside. Because there's a new assignment. When things run out here, I go within because there's a new direction. When things dry up over there, I go within because there's a new call. There's a new chapter that's evolving. And here's the hard part. The more we fight against the story that's unfolding within our own selves, the more hardship we experience in life. So you embrace the story that's unfolding, regardless of how it looks, because guess what? You know the author. See, when I'm driving the car, I ain't worried about the bumps in the road. When I'm in the passenger seat, it's like, oh, Nelly, oh, hold on. You got to hit all them potholes? But when I'm driving the car, it's okay. It's all right. Because you're in good hands like Allstate. And this is what the Christ principle is. It's not this mystical thing. It's another name to describe a presence that's already been within you. These principles are just another way of describing principles that are already at work in your life. And you know this to be true because when you look around your life and you see the people that you love and you look at all that you have created, children, houses, land, businesses, friendships, relationships, everything that you have built, you could not have done that with just your human intelligence. So what I'm inviting you into today is an awareness of that which already is. For the sacred text says that God is and is a rewarder of they, he or she or they, that diligently seek it. So we seek the Christ presence while it may be found. What does that mean? When things are okay in my life, I'm definitely going to meditate. Because now I have the time to, and I don't have to meditate with distraction. So when things are calm, yeah, I'm coming to community. Because guess what? There may be something coming down the line that I may not yet see, so I want to be prepared for it. That's why we say practice the presence. And that's why we call it spiritual practice. Say this with me, spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is preparing you for life. And so we come together under the banner of one voice, and we call it unity to get preparation for life. Take a look around the room. This is sacred activism. Almost done. This is sacred activism. We are gathered here together under one roof, one sound, one voice, and one goal, and that's the evolution of our souls to shine brighter than the sun. And guess what? The real sun is not just out there, but it's the sun in your heart. And so the sun that gets up every morning is the one that arises within your consciousness. It's the one that arises within your mind that tells me, I can do this. The one that arises in my mind that tells me, this is okay. I'll be all right. Things are all well. How you doing, Brother Jesse? All is well. You show because you look a little funny. That's okay. All is well. Because I know that everything in my life is either being or becoming. Meaning it is on the path to becoming well. So I speak to it what I want it to become. And then my mouth becomes sacred. My thoughts are sacred. My body becomes sacred. And then everything in my life gets in line. And then I'm able to live the truth that I know. And everything that I touch blossoms. Can you say yes to this awareness on today? Yes. So if you don't remember anything, remember that these powers are already in you, with you, as you. As soon as you become aware and acknowledge them, they will lead and guide you into all truth. And that truth is that you are divine. Take a deep breath. Let this information rest, rule, and abide, and saturate and metabolize through your whole entire being. And when you are ready to come back to the room, say, and so it is. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings. Before you leave, our favorite part of the service, which is the offering. Our ushers are standing by. If you usually give online, please log on to unitybham.org and click on giving. We're going to be guided, I believe, in a selection by the Donna. And the ushers are making their way around. Trauma-informed ministry, so you don't have to come on camera. If you will, point your hands toward the offering. Say this with me. We bless this offering, knowing that it will be used for the uplifting of this ministry. We bless the givers, knowing that as they have freely given, they shall freely receive. Good measure, pressed down, running over, shall the world return back to them. And so it is. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Thank you, Reverend Jesse, and thank you for that powerful message today. I just love these candles. They are so beautiful, the 12 powers that we each have. We have a few announcements. Our beautiful sister LaDonna is bringing together individuals who would like to sing as a group here at Unity. So you can see her after service if you'd like to participate in that. 2 of Reverend Jesse's abstracts were accepted at international academic conferences by the Religion and Society Research Network. He will be presenting virtually at the University of Athens, Greece's School of Theology on June 20th through the 23rd. And next year at the University of Madrid, Spain's Institute of Religious Studies, May 23rd through May 24th, 2024. Awesome stuff. All right. Reverend Jesse is launching a spiritual writers club and is looking for writers, authors, poets, and artists to increase our digital outreach. Send your submissions to revjessebeham@gmail.com. That's REVJESSE beham@gmail.com. And you can see Reverend Jesse after service if you're interested. Our next spiritual enrichment class, based on Joseph Murray's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, is set for April 30th. Please see Reverend Jesse and Lily to sign up if you have not already. And you need to get a book. So yes, see them to sign up. And that class is going to start when? April 30th. Okay, and we have scheduled classes on May 28th. Reverend Jesse will be leading a class on Tarot and visual meditation. And on July 16th, Reverend Jesse will be hosting a Unity 101 and new members class. And those are our announcements. Okay, At this time, we'll stand for our closing song. The power of God watches over us.
I am the power of God.
Wherever we are, God is.
Wherever I am, God is. And all is well.